Breaking news. President Eisenhower spoke on television as Sputnik I and Sputnik II orbited Earth. He displayed a missile nose cone recovered after a suborbital flight on a Jupiter C rocket a few days before. Eisenhower's prepared statement focused on improving science and technology education, and he announced the appointment of Dr. James R. Killian, Jr., the president of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, as his special assistant for science and technology. The Senate Preparedness Subcommittee hearings commenced. These hearings kept Lyndon Johnson and the missile and space issues in the public eye for several weeks. 73 witnesses provided their assessments of the state of U.S. missile technology and interpretations of the events leading up to Sputnik. John Hagan told Johnson that Project Vanguard could have beat Sputnik I into orbit if it had been afforded a higher priority. Hotz soon got his wish. The House Nasser bill passed, with the Senate version following later on. The most important conflict between the bills was the structure and composition of a committee advising the agency's director. The House bill, which Eisenhower favored, made provision for a relatively weak 17-member advisory committee, while the Senate bill had a strong 7-member policy board. A bipartisan 19-member blue ribbon panel chaired by Johnson produced a joint version that retained the strong policy board. President Eisenhower continued his opposition to the policy board on the grounds that it would usurp presidential authority.
New information on the hydrogen bomb evolution. First, let's take it back and inform you on the start of it. The United States tested the first full-scale thermonuclear device on November 1, 1952. The result was an explosion that was equivalent to one produced by more than 10 million tons of TNT. This was approximately 700 times the power of the uranium fission bomb dropped on Hiroshima. In August 1953, the Soviet Union tested its first boosted fission weapon, which used thermonuclear burning to enhance its yield, and in November 1955 the Soviet Union tested its first true thermonuclear weapon. There was now almost no limit on the size of an explosion either superpower could create. Fission bombs could only be built up to a certain maximum size, because only so much fissile material could be assembled without reaching a critical mass. Fusion bombs had no such limitation. The hydrogen bomb's development was not without controversy, as it ignited debates within the scientific community about the morality and necessity of such weapons. Teller's advocacy for nuclear arms expansion often put him at odds with contemporaries like J. Robert Oppenheimer, who sought to limit nuclear proliferation. Despite the tensions, Teller's influence persisted, leading to his involvement in various nuclear policy discussions well into the 1980s. The implications of the H-bomb's existence continue to resonate in global security discussions today. Society was affected heavily with the hydrogen bomb evolution. It affected the war by adding a lot of power in weapons. Society is currently not being that much affected by the hydrogen bomb's evolution due to no wars and no conflict with other nations.